Hey y'all, what if there was something that connected all the people on the earth? No matter how different those people are, no matter if they have red hair, purple hair, blonde hair, brown hair, they have skinny feet, wide feet, whether they have, a loud personality or really quiet, or kind of in between, whether there's somebody that you love or somebody that you really find it hard to love, whether you agree with them or you disagree with them on the most important things that are dear to you. What if there was something that you had in common with those people? Well, in this age of division that we find ourselves in, I think that's something that's worth asking and looking into. And I think there's actually something that we all have in common. And so let's go back to the beginning and look at what that could be. So God created man in his own image. In the image of God, he created him. Man, male and female, he created them. So we're created in God's image. Everybody is created in God's image. Everybody has that in common. What does that mean, though? Well, that word in the original language, image, is actually has the meaning of copy. Somebody makes a copy of something, and but we know that God didn't make a copy of himself like we think of, like making a paper copy of a piece of paper. So what's going on there? So it's in the Bible, really it's a mysterious thing where God tells the world about himself through humans. God instills in humans this mysterious thing called making them in his image, that when you look at a human, you can see or know or learn things about God himself, and so it's like God made every human a masterpiece, his own unique masterpiece. Each human is different, and right now there's 7.5 billion of these masterpieces walking around, eating, drinking, sleeping, and these masterpieces. If you think about an artist like Pablo Picasso, and you see a painting by him, and if you know art, you say, "Oh, that's a Picasso." But that painting that you looked at is not a Picasso. That's not Picasso sitting there in a picture frame. Picasso has actually passed away. So, what do you mean by that? Well, you mean that you can tell someone by the art that they make. So when you look at a human, you can see there was someone who made that human. That human is beautifully and wonderfully made by someone, and that someone is God. So he made us to represent him on earth. And because of that, every human has dignity, value, and inherent worth and uniqueness. And so we're image bearers of the Lord of the universe. And Psalm 8 says about God, "You made man a little lower than the heavenly beings and crowned him with glory and honor." He crowned humans with glory and honor. That sounds like something only reserved for God himself, but yet he crowned us, his creation, the pinnacle of his creation, with glory and honor. So that we know that something went wrong, though. There's something that happened to that now that image has been marred deeply, and it's called the fall. We refer to it as the fall in Genesis 3, and we know now that all have sinned and fall short of the glory of God. And that image, though we can still see God when we look at other human beings, but and many of us, and really all of us to some degree, that image has been deeply marred. I know in my own life I've seen, especially lately, effects of sin in me: fear, frustration, anger, judgment of others, divisiveness towards others, thinking I know better than someone else. And thankfully, there's redemption. There was the fall, but there's redemption, being the opportunity to be born again, to become a new creation. And as a new creation in Christ, we're being made into the image of Christ. And so we were made in God's image. That image was deeply marred by the fall. And now in Christ, we're being made into Christ's image. And Jesus, Colossians tells us, is himself the image of the invisible God. And so now those who are in Christ have the opportunity for two things. One, unity, true unity. And unity does not mean that we all believe the same thing, we all see things the same way. It means that we are being made into the image of Christ. We bear God's image, and we're being made more and more into the image of his Son. And so that means that we're gonna deal with each other with patience, with grace, with love. We're gonna agree to disagree on the non-essentials. The fact is that we share something glorious with all other human beings, no matter how different we are from them. And that's being made in the image of God. But as believers, we also get this opportunity, instead of having this cold suspicion of, paranoia, thinking everybody is up to no good, or there's all these conspiracies going on, and, I don't even want to make eye contact with somebody at the grocery store. Instead of that, we get to have a holy curiosity about other people. And so my neighbor, it draws me to my neighbor instead of makes me want to build fences against him or her. And so I was in a fast food restaurant recently, and the guy who was taking my order, I noticed had rings, like a ton of rings on his fingers. Like some of his fingers had several rings on each finger. And I said, "Wow, I like the rings. Those are cool. Do they have a meaning?" And he said, "Yeah, actually." And he took off his glove that he was using, and he started telling me about his rings and deep things about this one. My girlfriend gave me, it has rosebuds, and this one I got from my drinking buddy who it's just these stories started to open up. And I noticed he had some necklaces, and I said, I noticed your necklaces. He pulled out of his shirt 5 or 6 necklaces with these huge pendants, and he said, this one is a gem that I use to ward away bad vibes. It's just what was going on there. I was getting a glimpse of the image of God coming through, and that image had been marred. Okay, that gem is not going to protect him from these bad vibes, but there was something in him that saw that he could not protect himself. He needed someone. Something was going on in his heart, and so this holy curiosity approaching other people, especially people who I think I am better than, who I think I know better, or I disagree with them, and especially in times like this, with holy curiosity and gentleness and a listening ear. Holding to truth, but doing that in love. So as Christ did with us. So love you guys, and I'll talk to you later.